Imagine finding something that just shouldn't exist. Something so advanced, it feels like it's from the future, not the past. Well, today, we're diving deep into the Aegean Sea to look at an object that did just that, challenged everything we thought we knew. We're talking about the Antikythera Mechanism.
Yeah, you heard that right. A computer from ancient Greece? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? A complex machine full of gears, built over 2,000 years ago. But what if it was real? What would that actually mean for history as we know it?
You know, every now and then, archaeologists find something that just doesn't quite fit the timeline. They call them out-of-place artifacts, things that are way too sophisticated for their time. It's like finding a smartphone in a medieval castle. And let me tell you, the Antikythera Mechanism might just be the king of them all.
All right, so where did this whole incredible story even begin? Well, it wasn't in some fancy high-tech laboratory or a university archive. Nope. Our story starts at the bottom of the ocean, in the silent wreckage of a very, very old ship. The journey of this thing is honestly wild. So, way back in 1901, some sponge divers just happened to stumble upon it. For a long time, everyone just thought it was a corroded lump of bronze, a piece of junk. Seriously, for over 70 years, it just sat there, a total mystery. Then, in the 1970s, they hit it with some early X-rays, and whoa, they saw something inside. Gears. But the full picture, the real jaw-dropping moment, wouldn't come until 2005, when modern scanning tech could finally see what was really going on.
And I mean, just look at what they were dealing with. It wasn't one neat object. It was 82 separate, crusty, calcified fragments. It looked more like a rock you'd kick on the beach than a revolutionary piece of technology. Can you even imagine trying to piece that puzzle together? It must have seemed absolutely impossible.
So how on earth do you solve a 2,000-year-old puzzle that's sealed inside a lump of corroded metal? Well, the answer is you use modern technology as a kind of time machine. You use it to peek inside without ever breaking the fragile artifact itself.
The process was it was a work of art. It all started with just looking, painstakingly identifying every tiny fragment, every faint inscription. Then came the heavy hitters, powerful X-rays and CT scanners that could digitally slice right through all that corrosion, revealing the impossibly intricate gears hidden inside. And the final step? They took all that data and built a complete 3D model on a computer, basically reassembling the entire machine in a virtual world to see how it all fit together.
And you have to picture that moment. The moment they finally got that virtual model to run. That was the real eureka moment. Suddenly, the unbelievable sophistication, the precision, all of it was right there in front of them. It was a discovery that truly changed how we see the past.
So, the big reveal. What did they see? What was this strange machine actually built to do? Well, this is where the story goes from a cool historical mystery to an absolute scientific marvel. Inside this one device, about the size of a shoebox, they found at least 30 distinct precision-cut bronze gears. And we're not talking about big, clunky things. Some of these gears had teeth that were barely a millimeter wide. To put that into perspective for you, technology this complex, this miniature, wouldn't be seen again on Earth for another 1,500 years. Just let that sink in. And all those gears had an incredible purpose. This thing wasn't just telling time. It was modeling the heavens. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses decades in advance. It tracked the complicated movements of the 5 planets they could see back then: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And get this, it even kept track of the 4-year cycle for the Olympic Games. This wasn't a clock. It was an astronomical calculator of pure genius.
This is exactly why it's called the world's first analog computer. Unlike a digital computer, which uses ones and zeros, an analog computer uses physical parts to model a problem. In this case, you turn a crank, and this amazing system of gears spins in a way that perfectly mirrors the complex cycles of the cosmos, just as the ancient Greeks understood it. It's a physical, working model of the universe.
Okay, so here's the so what. Why does this one rusty old gadget matter so much? Because its existence forces us to completely rethink what the ancient world was capable of. It basically rewrites the history books.
This thing just completely turns our old ideas upside down. We used to think of the ancient Greeks as brilliant philosophers with fairly simple tools. The new reality? They were engineers with skills that were literally over 1,000 years ahead of their time. We thought complex gears were invented in the Middle Ages. Nope, they existed back in the age of Cicero. This shows us their astronomy wasn't just theory. They were building applied science, mechanical models of the cosmos that actually worked. And really,
That's the most important thing to take away from this. The Antikythera Mechanism wasn't just a tool. It's better to think of it as a textbook, a mechanical textbook that held all the astronomical and engineering genius of the ancient Greeks, all crystallized into one single extraordinary object.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of mind-bending question. This device survived only because it was in a shipwreck. It was a complete accident of history. So it makes you wonder, was this a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, or was it just the only one lucky enough to survive? What other wonders of engineering and science were out there, completely erased by time? What else don't we know?